Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hi, welcome. There's donuts on the table. Everyone get their coffee. Yeah, it's definitely Monday. Let's get started, yeah? Let's bring Duncan to Brussels. So, we have a lot to cover today, but don't worry, it's all covered in detail in the report that I provided for you. If you have any questions, save them for the end and I'll be happy to answer them. We basically want to talk about who Duncan is and who loves Duncan already. Also, who's already in Brussels giving the population their caffeine fix, and how are those busy on the go customers treating themselves? Then we'll cover how we can make Duncan work in Brussels for Duncan, for the franchisee, and for the Brussels community. Most of us are pretty familiar with Duncan, right? Yeah. We all know that America runs on Duncan. They provide freshly brewed coffee and a variety of roasts, specialty drinks, and a lot of quick serve food, including donuts. With more than 11,000 stores in 36 countries, Dunkin's already started to make the world run on Dunkin'. Everything Dunkin' does revolves around the consumer. They state that they're working to keep the consumer at their best and will remain loyal to the consumer, their taste, and their time. Dunkin' isn't just putting consumers first, but they make sure they know that they're first at every step of the way. The target audience for Dunkin' is pretty much established. They're mostly 18 to 45-year-olds who have an average or just above average income. They're busy and on the go. They're always just studying, working, have a social life, whatever it is. There's so much to do in this world, and we all need a good caffeine fix to get it all. Dunkin' customers are looking for quality, but they also want affordable. We're probably all already familiar with Starbucks. The global company is Dunkin's biggest competitor in the United States, though they focus on more higher end coffees. They have sweet treats, but they focus more on organic, healthier food options. And they also have more than 35,000 stores worldwide. Cocoa Donut Shop is a little different. It's a local company in Brussels that has two locations. They focus on specialty donuts rather than the coffee itself. Stores are decorated in a cozy bohemian vibe, and they're open fewer hours than Dunkin', leaves out those cramming late night students. Natural Cafe is a local small business that offers specialty coffee and custom roasts. They don't focus on speed or convenience and instead offer a sophisticated traditional type coffee shop and cafe experience. When analyzing financials from three different locations, we can determine a median expected expense and a median expected revenue. Here we looked at Boston, Flat Rock, and Cranberry Township. Looking at the average revenues at each location also gave a realistic representation of what to expect at the new Brussels location. The income statement shown here is based off of the previous median expenses and revenue. The first year shows much higher expenses due to the initial franchise fee and the app development startup costs. Even given the startup cost, there's an expected return on investment of 17%. And despite accounting for inflation, the ROI trends upward annually through 2028. A break-even analysis shows that the worst-case scenario with an estimated gross profit margin of 75%, which is lower than the average for Dunkin', still shows that sales after day 229 would be pure profit. Likewise, the best-case scenario shows that the break-even point would be on day 220. Most likely, though, the break-even point would be approximately 532,000, meaning that everything beyond sales on day 226 would be pure profit. It is important to consider pricing structure when expanding across the globe. Dunkin' uses a global pricing strategy that allows them to be competitive anywhere and maintain affordability in any location. Dunkin's franchise agreement allows franchisees to set their own pricing, but as with everything else, it must keep the reputation of the brand in mind. Fast food franchises in Belgium represent 6% of the Belgian retail. The market is huge at 2.4 billion euros. The Belgian Franchise Federation and the European Franchise Federation focus on holding franchisors and franchisees to legal and ethical standards with the goal of protecting the business development for both. Belgians drink a lot of coffee every year and lack a great coffee shop that's giving them what they want at a price they can afford. Dunkin' can satisfy the needs of the busy on the go consumers better than the competition. The market in Brussels is vast. Nearly half of the population are within the age range of Dunkin's target market. There are also 5 universities and almost 25 higher education institutions. The internet's widely available and social media is heavily used. Brussels is even known to have some of the highest internet speeds in the world. Belgium has a stable democracy and has been at peace with the United States for a long time. Trade relationships are well established and in good standing. Belgium's GDP is on the rise and has been since 2021. Also noted, Belgium is a gateway to the rest of Europe, opening up opportunities to further expand easily in the future. Corporate laws and regulations call for open transparency in an understandable language for franchise contracts and provide a clear blacklist of prohibited clauses in the contracts. This is again aimed at protecting franchisors and franchisees at every level. We will increase brand authority by earning the trust of the target market by providing quality products, exceptional customer service, and building relationships. Social media engagement will allow us to interact with the target market to encourage brand loyalty and brand awareness. And we'll provide an increased customer value by providing a local coffee shop that's culturally aware, socially responsible, and always gives a great cup of coffee without breaking the bank. Dunkin' lives out the mission statement in their products, in their marketing, and in their customer service. Through this, they've built a loyal following in many parts of the world. It's time to provide the same experience to the population of Brussels and expand that loyalty. Marketing is no longer about mass delivered messages. Times and technology have changed and allow for new methods that allow marketers to target specific groups of people with specific media types and in specific times. Current marketing methods work best when you target the consumer where they already are and enter their space naturally rather than bombarding them. Also important, integrated marketing communications are designed to send a consistent message across several channels to display the value to the target audience. Students are already on their phones, so we'll provide a loyalty program application. Workers are already walking by the windows, so we'll run a print campaign to display window signage that advertises the latest promotions. Everyone's using social media, so we'll partner with local influencers to increase brand presence in Brussels, cultural awareness, and social responsibility. The first promotional objective will be to obtain 2,500 new app registrations by the end of the first year and increase that by 10% each year after. The second promotional objective will be to obtain 2,500 local franchise social media followers by the end of the first year and increase that by 10% for each year after. The third promotional objective will be to increase social media engagement with the local franchise by 20% quarterly during the first year and by 20% each year after. As an example of communication methods, you see here on the left a potential tabletop tent that reminds consumers that Dunkin' is making efforts to be eco-conscious. And on the right is a potential layout for the loyalty program using visual elements that remind the consumer of their favorite place to get a cup of joe, all while making it quick and convenient for them. The print campaign or campaigns should always encourage the loyalty program and app for consumers. Some campaigns may feature the social media influence or influencers to tie in the message the marketing team is delivering. Print materials and signage should use eye catching designs that spotlight special promotions, new products, or any other pertinent information. The loyalty program should be reinforced verbally by staff in our print campaigns and on social media with our influencer. The app is designed to emphasize the convenience of pre ordering your favorites, getting reward points for doing so, and encourage the consumer to give feedback about their visits. Again, Dunkin' is centered around the customer. The feedback helps provide value to the consumer in the ways that they find valuable, all while removing the guesswork. The influencer partnership encourages a sharing of followers with like interests. The influencers should encourage social media engagement with the franchise and use the loyalty program and mobile application. By partnering with an established influencer, the new franchise can tap into the local market with some backing. The initial development of the loyalty program mobile application is pricey with a budget of $60,000. The first year also allots for $8,000 for any issues that may arise. The goal is to register 2,500 new users by the end of the year. This is likely to start strong and then taper off. We should see 1,000 new registrations in the first quarter and just over 2,000 by the end of the third quarter. The marketing manager will be responsible for regularly reviewing the progress and, if not on track, making changes. Social media is vital to any business in this day and age, and there's a goal in place to attain 2,500 new followers and increase social media engagement by 20% in the first year. The social media manager will be responsible for monitoring analytics within the integrated platform and with external tools like Sprout Social. Remember, empty followers are harmful for the algorithm, so engagement must also be monitored. It's expected to take time to see the increases here. Just like in the real world, building trust and relationships take time. The ultimate goal for year one is to see engagement stay between 3 to 5%, but ensure that it never falls below 1%. By ensuring excellent customer experiences and quality products, the franchise can expect to see social media metrics on the rise as consumers wish to share their experience with others. Marketing budgets are often imprecise and can differ from their actual spend. The most important aspect of budgeting is to make sure that proposed elements align with specific strategic marketing objectives and leave room for changes that may need to be made. Remember, despite how we felt this morning, caffeine's not actually a necessity. Dunkin' consumers are treating themselves. Our consumers experience hedonic shopping motives. Imagine friends enjoying a cup of coffee or donut together after a long study session. They're in the cafe just laughing and releasing their stress. Or how about a group of moms who spent their Saturday morning shopping and they want to stop in for a quick cup of coffee and sugar rush, something they don't have to share with anyone or hide in a closet to enjoy. Or maybe the professor who stopped in to pick up his free donut he earned in the loyalty app by pre ordering his coffee on the way to work every morning. He's picking up that donut, sure, but he's likely to order a cup of coffee to go with it. Or who knows, maybe a dozen donuts to take to his class. Dunkin's customers also greatly value time. Today, there are so many different choices for us to spend our time that we often feel like we're overwhelmed and rushed. Dunkin' is a whole of value at a fraction of the price and time. Word of mouth marketing is the number one way consumers are researching new brands. What does that mean for the new Dunkin' in Brussels? It means that we'll provide exceptional customer service, obtain feedback, listen to the consumer feedback, and make the changes to give them the experience that they want. Consumers want to be heard and enjoy being a part of the success of a business. Listening to this feedback is a great way to really establish those relationships. There you have it. Brussels Dunkin' is a sound decision. The target market is already in the densely populated city. It has little true competition and a definitive way to stand out from the others. Finally, the results driven marketing plan to increase brand authority and awareness in the area and encourage engagement on social media. It also includes positive financial forecasts that will no doubt continue to increase the market share in the area and allow for future further expansion when the time's right. Hey, let's make Belgium run on Dunkin'.